We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special news bulletin direct via satellite from our on-the-spot task force.
Now, stand back for your own safety.
Scientists always stuck on always trying this. I try to live on science alone now. Analysis and freaky sensitivity. We gotta live on science alone now. Yeah, religious scientist. Yeah, I am a scientist. Yeah, religious scientist. We gotta live on science alone.
Good evening. You're listening to Radio Adelaide on digital radio, online, 101.5 FM. This is Subatomic here till 7 p.m.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. That still haunts me every time. My name is Jack.
My name is Rowan. And on tonight's episode, we have a special guest.
Yeah.
And that special guest is Andy Stapleton.
Hello, pleasure to be here.
Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, I had such a lovely time last time that I forced myself back on your show.
Yeah, and a change in accent, or a stronger accent.
Thank you. I've got to differentiate myself from you guys.
We do have that boring northern suburbs accent.
I've got my nose. Yeah, I'm speaking through my nose as we speak.
But we are a science show, funny enough.
Yeah, funnily enough. Apart from the funny voices we tend to pull.
And Andy, what have you brought on tonight's show to talk about?
All right, well, I want to start strong because I want to keep all of your listeners actually super engaged, and this is how they're going to become super engaged. I'm going to mention about how brown widow male spiders prefer sex with older females.
Oh,
yeah,
spills.
I've started strong. And also, it's a science mystery, guys. An absolute science mystery. So, normally when things have sex, it's normally it normally works out well for everyone involved, and the species continue. And they grow in numbers. I'm not sure if the numbers do grow or not here, but what they've done is they put these brown widow male spiders into an environment with older females and younger females, and they found that the males preferred older female spiders.
There's a lot going on in this.
Yeah, despite the fact that the older females are less fertile, but also they were 50% more likely to eat them.
The risk is great.
Like, they can't get it any more wrong.
Yeah.
Even if they tried. So the scientists thought, well, maybe... So there's another thing. I'm going to blow your mind again. There's another thing that may be happening where the penis of the male spider can come off and get lodged in the... So they were like, well, maybe that happens more in female spiders, so that's why they choose this. No, doesn't happen. It's just very bad decision-making on the male spider's part.
Oh, and on that, we're going to go to a song. When we get back, we'll talk about spider penises. And this is Radio Adelaide, and this is Subatomic till 8 p.m. And, of course, that is Wide Open, featuring Beck from the Chemical Brothers' latest album. I mean, the album came out in 2014, but their latest album nonetheless. And you're listening to Radio Adelaide. This is Subatomic here till 8 p.m. with Andy Stapleton.
Raise the roof.
Woo! We're talking spiders.
And not just anything about spiders, but their sex lives and how bad they are.
Yeah, just these brown widow male spiders. They're very bad at deciding what to have sex with. I don't know how to say it, but it's a science mystery. So if your viewers, listeners, have got any idea about why these spiders are making the wrong choice, their guess is as good as the experts. Let us know. We'll forward it to the authors.
Why are they mating with bigger, scarier, more likely to eat them, less likely to reproduce with spiders?
Yeah. So at the end of the paper, they say. They think that the older females are just better at attracting the males. They're sending off the right signals.
The husky pheromones or the...
Just the I don't know, maybe like the come hither, like
with one of the 8 legs,
Yeah,
or like
that's right.
3 of them.
yeah, whatever. I don't know. That's the study. That's the study.
Yeah, I don't want to let my imagination get too far away on this subject.
Mine's gone.
Oh, yes.
Mine's just gone. Mine's in Melbourne already.
Just scuttled away. Because I know that there are some really weird sex lives in the animal kingdom, particularly like with like the drones for bees, like the male bee. Their genitals explode when they mate because that leaves the penis lodged in the queen and no one else can mate with it. It's violent and terrifying and kills them, but apparently, that's their life's purpose.
Yeah. I've got nothing to say to that other than that's excellent. I didn't know that, but that's going to enter my like normal fact life. Like every time I'm at a dinner party now, I'm going to lean in and just be like, "Did you know?" And just annoy everyone.
I guess it's an aggressive transfer of DNA. So
Very, very aggressive to the point where it explodes and kills the male. Yes,
incredibly aggressive.
but like the brown recluse spiders, I'm just like thinking over and over. They won't breed with the younger females. It's just what is it? The web better? Are they just better providers of web?
Look, I have no idea. It's a science mystery. You should email the authors and be like, "Hey, these are my ideas. They're no better than yours. Include me on your next paper. Citation in H-index goes up. Boom, done."
Sweet. Get some sweet science rep that way.
There we are. I think that's what you should do.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that they don't leave their penis behind in the females.
No, well, that's what they thought they were going to do. They thought that maybe it was more likely to be left behind in the older females, which would be a reason why they would be choosing them. But no, no penis left behind in anything.
Damn. Oh, that's the first time I thought I'd be saying that.
Which is a good thing for the spiders because you get to keep your penis.
But you get eaten half the time.
50% more often.
Oh, 50% more often, not 50% of. Right.
Yeah.
Good distinction to make.
you.
So I just want to know, like, nature always finds a way, and humans, we breed and it makes sense and everyone lives.
It makes sense to you. Doesn't make sense to me.
It's generally pleasant.
But like the idea of nature over thousands of years, I'm assuming the spider has been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
Nature has got to this point. Like with the bee as well, like there has to be some type of logical process or not
necessarily
randomly logical process.
I guess this process is good enough. It doesn't need to get any better than this because we'll be overrun by these brown widow male spiders.
It's something to stop the evolution of the spider. Otherwise, they'll win and destroy everything.
That's right.
Everything we love. All the brown recluses.
Yeah, but it's a good point. I don't know what. Obviously, this isn't beneficial to them. So obviously, it's just good enough.
I think what we are is we're in a half step. We're in the half step stage. Right. They haven't got to an optimal breeding point. We're at starting out of the species, and we're just like tripping onto the next step.
Rough model.
Yeah.
We're in the rough transitions, the teenage years of spider sexuality.
Exploding.
Yeah.
No, spiders don't explode bees. So it's gonna
Bees explode. Bees explode when they breed. Oh, you want to go into a different science article?
No, I want to stay with this for the whole hour.
All right.
No, go on.
A whole hour of talking about why spiders breed with older spilfs. So this one's a bit of a happy one from the California Institute of Technology, or Caltech, and was published in the journal eLife.
Hold on, sorry, 1 sec. I just have to backtrack. They specifically older spiders?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Why older?
That's the thing. It's actually it's published in Animal Behavior, so it made it into real science stuff. But they, like I said, they have no idea. Science mystery.
This is fantastic. This is classical science. Opens up 1,000 doors.
It's like an Ig Nobel contender, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm imagining a person spending 4 years on their specific PhD project, which is why older spiders.
Well, I mean, we've all been there when you're at a dinner party and someone asks you oh, what do you do? And you're you have to sit there as they lose interest behind the eyes, but you still go because that's what you're a scientist. It's what you spent your life doing. Imagine being that person going, well, I'd look to see if spiders leave their penises behind in other spiders. If that doesn't get the interest at the Christmas dinner table, nothing will.
Oh, it could be just so Andy, how's the, it's been a couple of years now. How's the spider penises project going?
It's still going.
Yeah, still not leaving them behind. And they love the old spiders.
Anyway, so Ron, let's go forward into the Ron land.
I'm lost. I'm lost in a drift.
Something about Happy California.
California Institute of Technology released a released a thing. They released a
study.
a study looking at
Spider penis.
no, nothing to do with spider penises, but it's about the sensation of touch, not a loving touch, being achieved again with a brain implant in a patient who had a spinal cord lesion for 3 years. So they couldn't feel past their shoulders down. They couldn't move their limbs.
But they did have arms?
They did retain their body and their limbs. The principle behind this was that to induce feelings in the patient's body by targeting a specific part of the brain known as the somatosensory cortex. And your somatosensory cortex is pretty important in understanding the sensations. So you get touched on the wrist or get caressed by a big loving spider.
Keeping with the theme.
You'll register the sensation, goes through your spinal cord, goes through the brain, goes through the somatosensory cortex, and it goes, oh, you got a prickly sensation from that spider leg, or oh, you got a smooth sensation. If it's from something smooth, for instance. So that's important in registering information coming into the brain, as well as proprioception. And proprioception is your ability to understand your body's relation to itself. So,
oh my God, so you're telling me there's all these parts of the brain that are sorting out just these simple things.
These tiny things, because you think, oh, easy. It's easy to understand what your body is in relation to yourself, but
I just do it automatically.
Yeah.
But you're telling me my brain's doing all these calculations?
100%.
I don't believe it. Show me the science.
Well, those proprioceptive nerves, you need them. Because when you close your eyes and touch your nose, you know exactly where your nose is, because it's almost like a sense of where your nose is. And if you didn't have that proper proprioception, you kind of won't know where your nose is. You won't be able to feel and understand its relation in space to every other part of your body.
I've got quite a pointy nose, so it's always quite easy for me to find my nose. I just wave my hand somewhere here and it just connects. It's easy.
You just get stabbed.
That's right, yeah.
Occasionally the eye.
Yeah, that's the sound of someone getting poked in the eye. But this implant, it's pretty regular in terms of what you'd expect for something that gets put in your brain. It's 2 patches of electrodes or two arrays.
To be fair, the statement to be put in the brain, it doesn't sound like a normal thing, you know. I got bananas, I got something put in my brain, you know.
Yeah, the banana sultana brain implant.
Yeah.
Yeah, electrocute the sultanas and it just triggers your neurons right. No, it's electrodes, you know, your simple, your simple electrode.
Yeah, simple electrode.
Your simple electrode that was surgically installed into your somatosensory cortex. And so the person that they were doing this on, this patient, was studied within a rehabilitation center after their surgery. And during their rehabilitation, the researchers stimulated these electrodes to try and get these neurons buzzing to see what kind of information they could get. Like, see, if we turn this certain cluster up to a certain notch, microwatts or whatever, we'll see what kind of sensations this person will report. So kinds of sensations like pinching and squeezing in different locations and different intensities were reported by the patient depending on what settings they were basically turning these electrodes on. Which is pretty interesting because
some people would pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah,
I know a few people, just friends. I wouldn't name names. Arnold mainly, but he would love a bit of a pinch without actually being pinched.
Just like
yeah.
But it's like wireless, the pinch app.
He's completely into that. Yeah,
he's into pinching.
Yeah, and more.
I mean, maybe not the pinch, but like a nice soft caress of the arm. Wait, that sounds really creepy now.
Yeah, it does. Especially when you touch yourself like that. Thank God this is radio.
No one has to see it. They can only imagine.
Not breaking eye contact with the row and everything.
Yeah, just imagine the caress of a spider at the flip of a switch.
But I know some people, not naming any names, who like the nice Arnold, who like the nice gentle caress of an arm as well. This Arnold is into everything.
He is, yeah. He's filthy.
Jeez, Arnold, lay off. But these implants, jeez, they give like more of a buzzing or tingling most of the time. And this is due to the inaccuracy of electrical stimulation and electrode planting, because we're still mapping the brain and where exactly every neuron goes and works. Electricity isn't that accurate. It's like a shotgun approach to stimulating neurons.
Yeah, so let's just stick more things into it and hope for the best. Everything is shaking.
It's more to do with trying to get accurate placement of these electrodes in order to make sure you're getting the parts that you want with high specificity. Otherwise, you're going to have a mixing of signals and it won't be that reliable or consistent, which is basically the same thing. Still, this implant was, capable of causing a sensation that the patient reported as, what they used to feel before their accident 3 years prior that caused the lesion in their spinal cord, which is really good news. This study is really good news for patients with sensation loss conditions, neurologically based, but also good for patients actually lacking limbs, because researchers hope that not only can this restore neurological function for future patients, but can be integrated with prosthetic limbs. So if you have a brain-computer interface, you can potentially have a prosthetic limb, so you can see where you're moving it, but you can also, when you touch things, you can get a feedback, and it actually feels like you're touching it with an actual hand.
Yeah, and for someone that hasn't lost any limbs, you could just get a third awesome extra limb.
Yeah.
Look, I've heard a lot about this kind of brain implant thing, right? Sticking electrodes in, and like they're putting electrodes in for everything. I wrote an article. It was about memory, for example. They were recording memory, through the electrodes out of the brain and then replaying it back in when the people were performing the same tasks. And I'm like, how many electrodes do we need in these brains? At what point do we just end up with mainly electrode?
Yeah, just saturated.
Superhuman electrode brains that can just do everything.
Oh, you can cross your fingers and just say nanomachines, and maybe that will cover electrodes. But
let's do that.
Yeah. Let's just invent nano machines that react to your brain and send electrical signals out.
Yeah, well, memory, that's a very interesting concept, because memory, my idea of memory is it's very lossless. Like,
right.
Memory degrades over time.
Oh, lossy. Yep.
It's lossy, sorry, not lossless. That's me thinking about TV shows.
That's you getting all lossy.
There we go. So it's very interesting that you could suck. I'm talking 100% anecdotal here, but you could suck memories away and then replay it would be more accurate than if you just kept the memory in your brain.
Yeah.
More like memory piracy, if anything. You're getting a copy, but you're not taking the original.
I don't know.
I would love to have your memories right now. Like, if we could just get
really
together.
want them?
Well, you look like a nice chap, right?
Ah.
But right behind those eyes, I sense there's so much awesomeness that I want that in my brain.
Comes on and talks about spiders. He gives us good scientific advice, and now he's complimenting my eyes.
I said behind the eyes. The blood vessels.
Yeah, well, I mean, that'd be interesting. I would like to see into Rowan's eyes.
Oh, you can see him right now.
I mean, behind his eyes.
That's right. But yeah, in terms of removing your consciousness, right? People always talk about extracting you into a computer. And it just seems like that first step, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, we're becoming cyborgs with every day that passes.
Yes.
I mean, the phone is just like one step away from being put into your brain, because once you have a phone in your brain, it's...
I don't think it will fit in the brain, but I can think about other parts of the body it would fit.
Like with having a special pocket, like
yeah, sure.
pocket.
Yeah, just there.
I just can't wait for internet consciousness, when memes are just like, you see like 6 memes a day and you laugh. You'd be seeing
like
billions
jokes.
of memes a day.
Yeah.
You just have infinite meme on your face, or in your brain or behind your eyes, whatever we're going to call it. But all the time, this is bad. This isn't what it should be used for, but it's going to happen. It's going to be this,
Yeah.
You're just saying what you want.
Yep, you got me again.
Some of us want cat videos, Jack. Some of us, like some people I won't mention, Mum, who enjoy watching those...
Arnold,
watching
Arnold's
those videos
interesting.
of pimples getting popped.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to be in a world where the collective digital consciousness of trans mankind is like all unified behind like factions.
One big pimple popping video.
Pimple poppers, the cat videos, the spider loves, and
You're talking about it as if it's mutually exclusive. Why not a cat video where they're popping pimples?
On top of a spider. I was just thinking all of these fit Andy perfectly. It's
Yeah, this is me.
You are the future of the internet.
I am the future. And no one wants my browsing history.
awesome.
Is it?
Great. Right. We're going to hit to a song when we get back, Real Fake or Clickbait. We're going to test Andy and Rowan. This one's a bit weirder, but we'll have a good time. This is Unknown Mortal Orchestra. Honeybee by Unknown Mortal Orchestra. From their latest album, Sex and Food. This is Subatomic here till 8 p.m. with Jack, Andy, and Rowan. But now...
I am the god of science news, and I declare you prove your worth. Are these articles real, fake, or clickbait?
That's right. It's time for Real, Fake, or Clickbait. I feel like I need to really spruce that intro. Like Rowan's intro is great, but I think I need to be like, now it's time for Real, Fake, or Clickbait. 5 articles coming up tonight. Let's see if Rowan and Andy can get them. But I feel like I'm like a show carny, you know?
Roll up.
Yeah. So, Andy,
Yes.
a quick run down through, and for the listener, is I will read out a bunch of articles. We'll just read out the title,
Okay.
and you got to see if it's real, fake, or clickbait. Every week is a mixture. Sometimes it's always real. Sometimes it's always fake. Sometimes it's a mixture.
So it's not like definitely one of each.
This one has a couple definites.
All right, good. I'm going to take this incredibly seriously. I'm writing it down. Is that allowed?
Sure, go ahead.
All right.
I've never done that.
And this week, I will just give you guys a hint. There is probably no real scientific stuff. So when I say scientific stuff, I mean, I'm not citing journals for this. These are news titles.
All right.
So that might give you a hint to what it could be or what it couldn't be.
Oh, geez. This is hard mode.
Hard mode. I thought
I love it. Bring it on.
A little. All right. So
If I lose, I will be upset though. So just lie.
first one. Fugitive arrested at a pop concert in China after facial recognition techs pick him out from 50,000 strong crowd.
Right. Do you know what? I think I've heard about this one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I was, where was I recently? I'll tell you, I'm going to humble brag.
Yeah.
I was in Thailand on holiday. That's what I do. That's what I do. I'm on
often do you do
holiday
that?
all the time.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
always on holiday in Thailand. I'm super rich. I can just go
Damn
wherever
it,
I want,
Andy.
whenever. Yeah, I know.
Can I go on a holiday?
No.
No, you got to do the show. But yeah, we were talking with someone there about privacy, and I said Facebook, and they went, "Well, did you know?" And they told me about this. So thank you,
Yeah.
stranger from Thailand.
Stranger in Thailand for listening. Well done.
Yeah, I'm going to say, what's my options? Science,
Real, fake, or clickbait?
Clickbait is like saying...
real clickbait. I reckon it's real and it's clickbait.
Yeah, Rowan?
Yeah, well, Andy has just convinced me that it has to be true based off of the fact that I like Andy.
Yeah, the stranger.
thank you.
The stranger in Thailand.
Yeah,
that's
believe his words. Unless he's a plant placed by Jack to try and throw you off.
For the long con.
Oh, wow.
Because, yeah, clickbait implies that there's, like, truth in there, but it's muddied. But truth implies that, yeah, they got facial recognition software. I'll stick with true.
I like how none of you thought about fake at all. It's actually true.
Yeah.
And it's not
Thanks,
really,
Thailand stranger.
It's not actually really that fake clickbait either. We talked about this actually a couple of shows ago, specifically China, actually in a real fake or clickbait, China really vamping up their facial recognition surveillance in China. It's getting quite big. And yeah, police have arrested a fugitive in southeast China after the technology helped him in a pop concert. The China is actually initiating a huge program through their public security office, which should be developed by 2022. That should cover every major city, facial recognition on most major streets. So think England, but like 2020, kind of like futuristic England.
Future, what you mean with like the red phone boxes, but just as tourist things.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a very interesting one to start off. The next one is my favorite, and I laughed when I read this one. Dogs cannot get autism, British Veterinary Association warns after anti-vax movement spreads to pets.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously. Anti-vax, I mean, they've tried with humans and they've done quite well. I'll give them that. They've done quite well, but I think science is now winning on the front of it has the truth. It has the facts behind it. So spread to dogs. It completely sounds real. It's so sad, but yeah, look, it feels like I've got a dog called Sophie. I love her with all my being. Like, I get angry when I talk about how much I love her. I love her that much.
If you're listening, Sophie, well, he's loving you.
Oh, I love you so much. Hey, Sophie. Hello, Sophie. I can just imagine her little ears pricked up now. But I love her so much that if someone did say, don't inject your dog with that because it will give them autism, I probably would be like, I probably shouldn't. Even though I don't believe it, I don't want to take the risk.
Yeah, fair enough.
She's so cute.
Yeah.
Autistic cute.
I love it. And Sophie, you're very well loved back home, pricking ears. Wrong?
I don't want to say true. I don't want to say a true clickbait. That's mine.
Well, it's 100% true.
Okay.
So,
50%
anti-vax movement believes that it can actually spread. It has harmful side effects. The British Veterinary Association has come out that the increase in anti-vaccination pet owners in the US who have voiced their concerns may lead to believing their dogs develop autism-like behavior, but there is no scientific evidence to suggest autism in dogs or a link between vaccinations and autism, not autisms, sorry.
All the autisms.
Yeah.
All of them.
So now, moving on.
I like this.
2 for 2, Andy. You're doing pretty well.
I know. I love winning. You should see me when I lose. You do not want to be in this room with me when I lose. Keep them easy.
So experts warn beef could act as a gateway meat to human flesh.
Oh my god.
Fake clickbait.
All the wires come down on Andy.
Yeah. Look, it is delicious. So hang on. What was it? So beef. What meat?
So expert warn beef could act as a gateway meat to human flesh. I think what they're specifically talking about is the new lab-grown meat.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, but that's what they titles. I generally don't alter the titles when I bring them on. I say exactly.
Okay.
But the article does go on to talk about lab-processed meat.
Yeah, perfect.
Give you that one.
So now with the lab-grown beef, that I've got no issues with that. That if they can make it taste delicious, obviously I'm going to eat it.
What about
if there was a human-themed burger in McDonald's?
But it was grown in a lab.
I would absolutely eat it. I would absolutely go for it. Do you know what? When I first moved to Australia, I stopped in. I was travelling from Sydney to Newcastle. Anyway, we stopped in. My first meal in Australia was at McDonald's.
Well, very Australian.
Yeah. And they had the Muck Osburger, which is, do you know what it is?
That's no
beetroot?
Yeah, it's just got beetroot on it. It's so disappointing.
I was thinking kangaroo.
Exactly.
Or
They had all this stuff. Anyway, so I'm thinking if you had the Muck human burger, I would 100% eat that.
The McMahon.
You know what?
McMahon.
I reckon like the first couple of weeks that comes out, no one would buy it, and then suddenly it would be a craze. It would be like this thing where people are like, yeah, it's amazing. It tastes like chicken and all that.
Everyone's weird friend would eat it first.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, what was it like? And they'd be like, it was delicious. And then you would eat it. So yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Gateway? Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Right, you're easily convincing Rowan and things as well. Rowan, give me all your money. Come on.
True.
All right, it is 100% false. Got you there. It's actually from The Onion.
Wicked.
Yeah, and The Onion is a satirical news website, which I actually went on when I was looking through these articles. Sometimes you like read the articles and you're like, is this actually true? You don't know. It's really sad when that's the case. But that one, I was thinking, you'd probably overthink that a little.
You did.
Yeah.
I like my initial answer was clickbait false, but here we are.
All right.
I'm just so convincing.
Your charisma is just disgusting.
Schools are removing analog clocks from exam halls as teenagers cannot tell the time.
So, look, I got a new watch recently.
Oh, it's analog.
Yeah, and
digital.
Yeah. Sometimes I do get a little bit confused with the hands, I'll be honest. So it strikes me as something that's plausible. So I'll say, and also like mobile phones, they're all digital. They have like the digital readout. So would it get to a point where youngsters, look at me, look, I'm a balding 32-year-old man. I just said youngsters for the first time in my life. I'm disgusted with myself.
In their shorts.
In their shorts on their Instagram. Would it be such a problem? I'll go yes again. Yeah.
I'm going to go false.
False. It is true.
Got you again.
And it's
stay with me, mate.
I thought preschool learning, you learn how to tell time. Like, how can you forget if it's like part of your curriculum?
So this is happening in England, actually, and the teachers are installing digital devices after pupils sitting their A-level exams complained that they were struggling to read the correct time on an analog clock.
And do you know why it's changed there? Because no one complains like an English person, right? I reckon there's the same complaints here in Australia, but it's not as good as the English complaining, so they're like, we must change it to shut up the drone.
It's definitely true. Like 2 hours through a chemistry exam or any kind of exam I've done in the past, and you see the analog clock in the distance, and you're just like, it's 4, it's 7, it's 8. it's 13 o'clock. Like, yeah. So I can definitely see that. We don't complain that much. We're kind of like, yeah, whatever.
It's more like you just bag people out and expect something to happen.
Yeah, it's true. Alrighty. Man declares he is now attracted to men after taking painkillers.
That's not too out there.
I feel like that would be it'd just be a convenient excuse. Like
That's
maybe,
exactly my first thought as
maybe
well.
he just is always.
Oh,
like,
my foot hurts. I like men now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it is.
It's true.
True?
I'll say clickbait.
It's clickbait.
Damn.
It's clickbait, true, but it's more clickbait than anything. So
Damn.
a man
Half a
prescribed
point.
painkillers to treat his injuries, says his sexuality has changed after taking them. However, it was from the Daily Mail, and the man, 23-year-old, dumped his girlfriend of 6 months after taking this specific painkiller and realizing he was attracted to men. He said the drug was given to him after he broke his foot in a go-karting accident early this year. Reports from the Nottingham Post. Scott said being on the drug had made him much more open-minded and not bothered with what people care, think, or say. So he's, and it goes into his details. I don't want to talk about that guy. But the reason why I'd say clickbait is because there is just no evidence behind it. There's nothing behind it. It's just his own kind of opinion, I guess.
Yeah. Like I said, convenient excuse.
Convenient excuse. And it made him, I guess the only thing I can see there is the painkillers would have dulled his senses of some type. So some painkillers can just do that. They can just make you completely numb. And so it could have changed his mindset of being quite uptight. I don't know this person, Scott or whatever his name is. I don't know this person, but he could have been this really uptight guy and then taken the painkillers and then being like, I don't care what people think.
Is he on the painkillers forever now?
No,
he loves them so much.
I think he's just off them. He's off them now, but I think he just had a switch with the brain.
Yeah, wow.
And let's go the last one of the night. So I think Andy's
Clearly winning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got most of them. You only got one wrong.
Thanks for keeping track. I was keeping track too, but I wasn't going to say because it's... Thanks.
So the US beef industry is divided over whether to call clean meat.
So I think I read something about this. Actually, I've been going first the whole time. You go.
I reckon it's true.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Because you got that whole ethical conundrum of, do you put this in the tofu aisle or do you put it in the meat aisle? We've grown it. It's not actual beef. Will people actually want it as part of their regular meat product? Or is it going to be like your off-brand, this is clean, this is special, this is expensive?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's true.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think I read something this week where the farmers wanted the term meat actually defined because you couldn't say, I think it was like vegetarian meat. They weren't happy with that because they were saying it's not meat. We want to own meat, therefore you. So I think it's true because of what all of that.
Of that and the good old summary. Yes, it is true. 100% true. The US Cattlemen's Association in February asked federal government regulators to adopt a definition for meat that would exclude cell-cultured products, often called clean meat. This week, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and in brackets I love it, the more powerful association, asked the same regulatory agency to rule the opposite. So both groups find the new food technology threatening, and as you said, Andy, you can see what's going to happen. It's more like a copyright issue than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to own meat. Yes.
Yeah.
Had to think about that for a second. Great. So, Andy, you are the winner. Yay! Get back in the hole, Rowan.
I'm going to be beaming for the rest of the week now. I love winning at stuff. Thanks very much, guys.
That's all right. That's why we brought you on the show, just
Thank
to make you win. Great. We're going to hit to a song, Courtney Barnett, and then when we get back, whoa, time has gone flying by. Can you just pause time for a second?
Yep.
We'd have an extra 15 minutes on the show. It's already 7:45.
Wow.
Heaps good. Adelaide's coming up next, so do stay tuned for them. But for now, Courtney Barnett, and we'll be back after this. And that there is Courtney Barnett with City Looks Pretty. Love you, Courtney. And this is Radio Adelaide with Subatomic with Andy and Rowan and Jack till 8 p.m. We've only got 10 minutes exactly. Wow, that was weird. Andy.
Hello.
Take us home.
All right. So another little thing to come out this week. I'll give you the headline: 3D printed electronics directly on the skin.
Fake.
Yeah, might as well be. So the one thing that struck me about this very quickly was that in their press release, they said it made the inside back cover. They were proud of that. Yeah. I wasn't ever sure that was something to be proud of, but it did. It
Front
made
cover, the inside of the front cover.
inside back cover.
Inside back cover.
There we are.
I mean,
And
that's all right. That's the first thing you see, right? Or besides the front cover.
Or the back of the front
Well,
cover.
you see-
Wait, no.
you see the entire journal before this.
You look at the back, you look at the front, you open up the first
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
This is like saying I'm after like the comics in the paper. But then
Yeah.
again, the comics is like the most read part. So
Oh, maybe people flip to the back.
yeah, it's true.
Because they're after the juicy stuff. Where all the juicy
Like in a
stuff
Mad
is.
magazine,
That's
with
right.
the fold-in.
Yeah, where all the classifieds are.
Yeah. Ooh.
So what they did is this is the first time that they've directly printed conductive, I guess, components onto skin. So in the past, they've done something similar. They've used like a temporary tattoo or something like that, where they've put it on a substrate and just sort of like stuck it to the skin afterwards. But this is the first time they've printed directly onto the skin. And the great thing is, it's a little tiny box that costs about $400.
Just $400.
Just $400. This, I am going to make you all buy one by the end. This is a sales pitch. And yeah, so you can take it into the field, and they were saying soldiers could use it on the battlefield to act as chemical or exposure sensors. And also, they said solar panels.
Wow.
Right? Don't believe that one.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that efficient.
That's
as well.
right. So I did a PhD in solar tech, and I was like, there is no way. Like, this is one of those things where they're like, if I just put something fancy in there, it will get more exposure. So don't believe the solar panel thing. But yeah, so the one of the cool things about this is that it was able to track the small movements of the hand, and the small printer would also just follow.
Oh, wow.
So they moved their hands, and they were saying no matter how still you try to be, you'll still twitch or whatever, and it will compensate. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Damn cool.
That sounds.
What kind of sensor would you use in a non-combat situation, though? Because they imply like soldiers would use this.
Tell you what I would use. People who skunk you with perfume. I would have one on my cheek, right? That if their perfume was too strong, it would say your perfume's too strong. Like the LED would light up and just say you're skunking me. No more.
I'm just thinking. I mean, I'm thinking really basic, but too basic. I think you said little black box, and I was like, oh, you could open it up and put 5 cents in there or something. Like, okay, no, this is 3D printed. You could do like electronics with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
You can literally
maybe not a
program
little chest on your hand. You know?
Or like you can program like a control interface, so you can have like the remote controller. If you have like the extra like infrared bit, you can stick it on the top.
We've covered a lot of similar things like this, so it could be used for like a heart rate monitor.
Yeah.
And
Detecting methane, so you can tell when someone farts.
yeah, I mean, heart rate monitor, methane, all those kind of really essential things.
Very essential. Hey, I need to know before I smell.
And they did say wound healing as well, which was really cool. So I think they took in the study, they took a mouse and just sort of like put it over the wound and sort of glued it together and stuff. I don't know why it would need to be conductive, but there we are. Why not? Do it.
There is a lot of applications to this, but then we're heading into anecdotal territory.
Speculation.
Yeah, I mean, but that's where the mind can go wild, Rowan.
Yes, very wild. I mean, what could you 3D print onto your body that you'd need?
Spider penis.
Of course. So you can please them old
Because then
spiders.
I can break it off. It's okay. No.
You've gone down the dark
I just feel
hole.
like it would be excellent way of accenting, like giving someone the finger. Like, just imagine in the pure darkness, someone like cuts into you in the traffic, and they just see this glowing, like, boom, this big middle finger just
like
coming
the
out of them.
LEDs on the finger, so every time you pull it, it makes like a sound effect.
That's right.
Yeah, I could. You've hit on exactly what I was thinking. Mood box. So I'm feeling really envious, and it's all green and everything. Because apparently envy is green.
So you can 3D print mood.
Yeah,
Mood.
that's exactly. And that sells. That stuff sells. And we've got $400 a box. You're going to have a really good sales pitch there.
Yeah.
It detects your mood.
And this is non-toxic? How does it get like removed?
Yeah, so you can
afterwards?
peel it off with tweezers or just wash it off.
Oh, right. So
Yeah.
it's like organic.
But it does hurt.
yeah.
No, I don't know that bit either.
Needles.
Can't be pleasant.
Yeah. So, I mean, how does it get on the skin?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, so there's a little 3D nozzle that just prints.
Okay,
on
so it
top.
doesn't. Because 3D printing generally is like high laser beams,
Or
lots of
molten
heat.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I just realized, you know, when people go to bed early at parties and you like prank them. Why don't you just like put the box on their face and then like print something on their face?
Like high-tech Rudies.
Yeah, high-tech Rudies. That's
That
the way to
like,
put
rips
it.
their skin off when they try and get it off in the morning. I'm also thinking, I mean, I don't know if they'd be applicable, but you could get something that, but this would have to read your blood. So like if you're drinking and you've got a little
that's
box,
cool.
you got it goes bright red or something.
Yeah.
But then that would have to be connected to your bloodstream, and then I imagine that would be quite painful.
There's ways to get around that, I'm sure. Like,
Yeah, because there's the oxygen sensors that just clip onto the end of the finger, right? So there'd be something similar.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And there'd be alcohol in your sweat. So
Yeah.
it'd just be a sweat monitoring thing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's cool.
Yeah, the military definitely, but now I'm thinking,
what kind
marathon
of useless
running
gimmicks
and-
thing can we do?
Oh, useless gimmicks.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Dehydration, I reckon, is a really good one. You know when you don't realise you're dehydrated until it's a bit too late? You can sort of have this printed on your arm and go, oh, I'm well
What do you mean a
hydrated.
bit too late? Like when you wake up in hospital and you're like, I didn't drink water for 3 days again.
Or you could have it preset to. I love 21.5 degrees Celsius. There's the shit when it comes to aircon.
I believe you as well. You look like a man who knows your temps.
Yeah. So you could have it on your hand being like, and if it goes like red, or I don't know, I read, but if it goes red, then you're like, it's not 21.5 in here.
Do you know, you've just explained why I'm so sweaty all the time. I should reduce everything in my life to that temperature.
Yeah, that's great. I should do the same.
I won't.
Okay.
You'll just remain sweaty.
Yes, I'm basking my sweat.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Andy, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a load of laughs.
Lots
Absolute
of love.
pleasure. Thank
Hopefully
you.
Arnold isn't too disappointed.
No, Arnold will be very happy.
Good.
Yeah.
His name has been mentioned 8 times.
That's right.
And Sophie as well.
Sophie. Hey, Sophie.
Yeah.
She's probably listening.
Yeah, great.
Good girl.
But do stay tuned for heaps good Adelaide, Sophie, and everyone else listening, because they always have a great show talking about our Lord Mayor, hopefully.
Yeah, and there's something about a bridge. I'm not too.
The
really up
bridge
to
is
date.
too bright, and the Lord Mayor doesn't have anything else to talk about, so he's going to talk about that. And,
Oh, right.
And yeah, cool. My name is Jack.
I'm Rowan.
I'm Andy.
There you go.
Say